Welcome back to the Power and Purpose podcast. I am your host, Vanessa Soul. Thank you so much for investing your time and energy and attention into today's episode. I greatly appreciate it. And if you're new here or if you haven't tapped in a while, I just want to give you a quick heads up. I release 2 episodes per week. The first episodes are released on Monday, and those are the amazing guest episodes where I have a guest, talking about consciousness, self development, awareness, healing, integration, business, spiritual entrepreneurship. All of those topics are dedicated towards Monday for the guest episodes, and those are even numbered after episode 140, just to make it easy for you. So in 2026, I started this structured schedule. So that's why the even numbered are dedicated towards guest episodes from 140 onward. Before 140, before episode 140, they're all kind of mixed in. Okay, so I didn't really have a structure. I was still producing 2 a week, but this time I'm getting a little bit more structured. And then for my solo episodes, those are odd numbered. Most of those will be astrology based. Some of them may not be astrology based, but they're going to be my solo episodes because I kind of need my own space to communicate what I need to communicate. Everything I want to say doesn't always come out in the guest episodes, which is fine because it's all about the guest and their message, their expertise. But I got to have these solo episodes on Thursday, the odd numbered episodes, to chat with you, to give you some insight, to talk about astrology, or maybe just a powerful, potent message. Okay. So that's the rundown. Thanks again for joining in. So let's get started with today's episode. Something important shifts on March 11th. And by the time you're getting this one's going to be released on the 12th. So you're a day into this transit, but it lasts a good amount of time. So you're right on time. Something important shifts on March 11th in 2026. Many people have been feeling the buildup without even realizing why. Jupiter, the planet of growth, opportunity, abundance, and wisdom, has been retrograde since November 11th, 2025. And now it turns direct because it's happening in Cancer, the sign where Jupiter is exalted. This moment makes a powerful return for forward momentum. So let me tell you more about what Jupiter is about, like what Jupiter represents. Jupiter rules growth, opportunity, abundance, wisdom, expansion, protection, understanding in general, right? Like most the success that most of us are constantly manifesting or calibrating to, that type of successful energy, that's like a Jupiter in energy for most of us, because most of us want to continue to grow. We want to continue to expand. We want to travel. We want to increase our awareness, our wisdom, our understanding of life. We want more opportunities. We don't want to be in scarcity opportunity. We don't want to feel limited. We want to feel like we have several opportunities, expanded opportunities. We want to feel like we're constantly growing, right? So that is all the Jupiter energy. Now, retrogrades slow external movement, so internal alignment can occur. That's almost every retrograde, with the exception of Pluto, because that one's like, it's different. It's a really, really slow planet. But that could be kind of true. It's not just 100% true for Pluto, but we're not going to go down Pluto's path today. We're going to stick with Jupiter. But just so you know, retrogrades slow external movement, so internal alignment can occur. And we're currently in a Mercury retrograde until March 20th. And you know, even people who don't know a lot about astrology, they know about Mercury retrogrades. They know that there's a lot of inconvenience, that things get stuck, technology glitches, technology shuts down, software systems do unusual things, travel, flights, scheduling, things can be delayed, canceled. Or communication. Communication can be choppy, incomplete, very brief. I'm communicating with someone right now on a business deal, and it's like the communication with the other person is so short, right? It's like they're not giving enough context. So I'm actually spending so much time re-asking them questions I've already asked because I need them to elaborate more, right? So communication just kind of gets it's not as full or robust or clear as usual, especially with this particular Mercury retrograde in the sign of Pisces, because Pisces is like not a lot of boundaries. It leaves a lot of things vague. It leaves a lot of things open. It's this openness with not a lot of structure, not a lot of detail. In fact, Pisces energy can be missing detail. Not that it's a bad thing. It's a neutral energy. It's is the missing detail detrimental to us, or is it beneficial to us, right? So anyway, that's kind of like just retrogrades. But with the Mercury retrograde, the things that are in our external reality getting stuck, slowing down, not happening, delays, contracts not getting signed, people can't make clear decisions. All that stuff is because we need to internally align during these Mercury retrogrades. And then when we come out of it, that external alignment, that external movement comes back typically. That's a Mercury retrograde. I just wanted to give that to as an example, because even if you're not that familiar with astrology, you've felt the inconvenience of a Mercury retrograde and you've heard about it. So that might make it a little easy for you to understand. So now we can apply that to a Jupiter retrograde, right? Same thing. When Jupiter is direct, we all feel a little bit more lucky. Now you're not going to feel lucky in every area of your life. That would be not accurate or not realistic, but where Jupiter sits in your chart, it's sitting in a certain house. That's what those numbers are. If you heard about the fourth house, the fifth house, the eighth house, the 10th house, whatever, those houses represent an area of life. So some of you have this Jupiter happening in your sixth house of daily habits, work, routines, health. You might, when Jupiter is direct, you're experiencing luck and blessings and abundance and benefits with your health or with your daily routine, or one daily routine is really expanding you, right? It's creating so much growth, right? That's just a quick example. So when Jupiter's direct, we're more inclined to get those instant blessings. And even if they take some time, they may not be instant, but they're big blessings. They're like the miracles. They're the thing that we've been manifesting. They're the thing that we've been praying for. So when Jupiter's direct, we're constantly getting that in that area of life. So that's why you got to know what area of life this is happening for you. However, when Jupiter goes retrograde, those blessings and the good luck energy, it kind of slows down, or sometimes it even just completely halts. I'm not even gonna lie. It could halt in a certain area of life. Um, like this happens like when someone's experience here, let me give you another example. Since I do business and career astrology, I've recently had a handful of clients, like 3 or 4 clients all at once, because they're the same rising sign, and I use Placidus house system, or they're charts overlap in some way, but they had Jupiter in their 10th house of career and public image. So the first half of the Jupiter transit, Jupiter is going direct. They're getting promotions. And, I'm summarizing and generalizing. I'm kind of putting these 3 or 4 people together as this example, but they're having luck and abundance and promotions and rewards, and their social media accounts are booming, popping. They're getting new followers, or they put out one freebie and like 300 people sign up for it, right? I mean, they're putting in the work, right? It's not just happening without the work, but they're getting like the maximum benefit because they're experiencing this Jupiter in Cancer in their 10th house, these 3 or 4 people that I'm using as an example. And then when it went retrograde November 11th, and there was a pre-shadow period. I'm not going to offer that right now. I want to stay on topic. But when Jupiter went retrograde, it's like all of that momentum that they were experiencing, that expansion with their public image, whether they felt like their social media started to gain a lot of traction quickly, or they started to climb the ladder in their career very quickly, or they got the raise or the promotion, or one person's in sales, right? And they had like 3 times the amount of real estate deals than they would typically have. And it was because of this Jupiter was direct in Cancer for the first half of the transit. But when it went in retrograde, all 3 or 4 of these clients of mine, they're on the call and they're like, wait, what happened? I thought you said Jupiter was going to do great in Cancer and all these great things. And I experienced all of it for like a couple months, and then it just dried up, or it halted, or it paused, or it stopped. Yes. Almost every planet has a retrograde. not the sun. There's exceptions, can't go into it. But the my answer is yes, that the planets that do have retrogrades, this is what happens. Like, yes, the direct motion gives us, if it's a benefic planet like Jupiter and Venus, we get like the best of this experience. Um, and then it halts and pauses during the retrograde. So the retrograde things kind of slow down, and it happens for you to work on your internal alignment, catch up with all of those big blessings. For the clients, I'm still using them as example right now. For the person who, like, their social media started to soar and they got all these followers, and they put out one freebie that they didn't even think was going to work, and then they ended up growing their email list by thousands of people, right? Like, integrate that. It's not that you're getting punished for the blessings that you just got, or the good luck with your social media, or the promotion, or the raise, or climbing the ladder, or like the 3 times real estate deals. It's not like Jupiter's trying to take away all your blessings. It's literally integrate those big blessings, those miracles, those manifestations, those calibrations, the abundance, the wealth, the increased self-confidence, the increased self-worth, whatever it did for you. Use the Jupiter retrograde to integrate it. Sit with it. Let it land. Let it anchor in your identity. Let it integrate so that you are becoming, this is going to sound so cheesy, so that you're becoming the best version of yourself, not because you were broken before, but because the Jupiter's blessings changed how you see yourself. Okay. It changes your self-respect. If you were doubting yourself and you were about to quit your real estate career, or you were about to quit your social media goals because you weren't getting traction, you weren't getting visibility on your stuff, then use this proof, all the blessings that Jupiter gave you, to upgrade your identity, upgrade your beliefs about yourself, or other things. It doesn't have to be just that. I'm trying to kind of frame this Jupiter retrograde in a helpful way, because it can be helpful when you work with it. Like, we can't always expand. The Hermetic laws state that there's 4 different seasons. Okay. Expansion and contraction are 2 of them. And I forgot the other 2. They're not coming to my mind right now. So you can't always be in a state of expansion. You can't always be in a state of contraction. Well, you can, but if you flow with the universe, it's going to give you all 4 seasons of rest, contraction, expansion. I forgot the third one. It'll come to me. So that was the retrograde, November 11th to March 11th. November 11th, 2025 to March 11th, 2026. Okay, so now it's going to go direct, and there is a post shadow period, but don't worry too much about that. That's nitty gritty. It's only helpful to go through those specifics if you're one-on-one with an astrologer and you're understanding how that shadow period is helpful or not in your personal sessions. But general reading, it may not add enough value because we're not talking about your specific situation. So when Jupiter stations direct, momentum returns. This particular station is amplified because Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. And it's also forming a supportive trine to the North Node, linking your growth to your destiny. So to understand why this matters, we have to understand the full timeline of Jupiter in Cancer and what has been unfolding since 2025. So June 9th of 2025, that's when Jupiter entered Cancer. Okay, so you can look from June 9th to November 11th, you can look to see what blessings, where did you feel lucky in your life? What blessings happened? What manifestations actually started to unfold and come to fruition? All right, and then you know that November 11th, things might have slowed down, they might have halted. And side note, if this is seeming really vague, you got to look at where you have Jupiter in your natal chart. You might have it in the 1st house, you might have it in the 7th house, you might have it in the 10th house. So that's the area of life that we're talking about. You're not, someone's like, well, someone tried to like tell me, because this was a casual conversation, this wasn't a tight client container, but they were just like, well, I'm not experiencing good luck in every part of my life, so I don't think you're correct. Well, here's the thing about astrology, it doesn't happen in every, like, the transit, the theme, the concept is it can't touch all parts of your chart. It can touch multiple parts of your chart because there's aspects, but this Jupiter is not going to reflect in every single area of your life. Astrology just doesn't work like that. there is a lot of relationship between planets and houses, but um, this is why astrologers have to interpret this stuff, because there's a specific formula and we have to really explain what is directly impacted and what's not directly impacted. Jupiter will be in Cancer until June 30th, 2026. So from March 11th to June 30th, 2026, this last stretch of Jupiter in Cancer, really make the most of it. And I'm gonna give you some tips on how to do that, right? I just wanted to explain why it was important first. Here's the thing. Number one, expansion becomes nurturing rather than excessive when Jupiter is in Cancer. All right. Growth happens through emotional intelligence, emotional awareness. And number two, abundance grows from foundations. Cancer represents roots, family, security, and support systems. So when you hone in on those things, Jupiter will give you the blessings that are ready for you. Number three, intuition guides opportunity. Intuition guides opportunity. Number four, protection energy increases, because Cancer is all about like protecting home, protecting the land, protecting our country, protecting your family, protecting your emotions, protecting self-preserving yourself, honestly. And then Jupiter can have a protective quality as well. So this protection energy increases. Like for the people that I just spoke about, those clients, I gave you guys some examples on the expansion that they're experiencing, or that they experienced with the first portion of Jupiter that was direct, right? The one person had like 3 times the real estate sales, another person like their social media blew up and their email list blew up. So now they could also protect what they've built with as this transit continues. They can continue to expand now that it's going direct, but they could also protect what they've built, so that way when Jupiter is done with Cancer and it's done with their 10th house, they don't lose all of the benefit. They don't there's no loss there, right? It's like it just upgraded them to the next level. They don't have to have the Jupiter to stay in the 10th house in order to continue to experience benefit there. And that's an important point. I'm going to pause here for a second. That's an important point in astrology. When a planet leaves a house in your chart, when it leaves an area of life, when it's completed its transit, it's not going to take all of its benefits and blessings away with it when it leaves and goes into the next sign, to the next house. If it's a benefic planet, it's leaving you better than it found you. Okay. And if you hone in on the lessons, that's why being aware of astrology really is like the magic sauce. It's almost like a cheat code for life, because when you're aware of what it gave you, or what it showed you, or how you were able to experience yourself or your life differently, you can fully integrate those benefits into your life, and it becomes your new lifestyle. It becomes your new standard. All right. It really, like, you actually integrate it, and it gives you a new narrative for your life, and you don't lose it when that transit is gone. All right. Number five, long-term prosperity is favored with Jupiter in Cancer. Growth tends to be sustainable rather than short-lived. Jupiter in Cancer expands what is emotionally real and structurally strong. Now I want to talk about some ways, practical ways to work with Jupiter in Cancer. I'll give you 5 tips on how to work with this. One, strengthen your foundation. Actually, before that, zero, understand what your foundation is. I just spoke with someone recently. They didn't really know, they couldn't identify their foundation. So if you're able to identify your foundation, strengthen your foundation during Jupiter in Cancer. Revisit the systems that support your life, business, finances, routines, and emotional well-being. Number two, another practical way to work with Jupiter in Cancer, invest in emotional alignment. Pay attention to what feels nourishing versus what feels draining. Number three, build something long-term. Jupiter in Cancer rewards projects designed to last. Number four, reconnect with your purpose. Ask where your work truly helps people. And number five, create environments where growth can happen. This can be your home, your workplace, or your community. This transit rewards the things that are built with care. And the best part about this Jupiter transit, now that it's direct, it's trining the North Node. And the North Node is another expanded area of our life, our chart. It's expanding us into our purpose. It's expanding us into our highest alignment with our soul, not necessarily like our logical goals, like the ones that society tells us that we need. This is like soul advancement stuff, like what your soul signed up for before you even arrived on earth. That's what your north node represents. And your north node it's often challenging. It's not like, oh, just expand into this new thing. It's part of your destiny. It's like, this might stretch you. It might feel heavy, but it's it's going to take you further than you ever thought you can go. So this trine with Jupiter is really helping you expand into your highest purpose. It is helping you expand beyond your 9 to 5 or your 3D goals or the 3D bills or the 3D anything. Okay. So that's why I'm really, really loving this trine with Jupiter in the North Node. All right, Super Soul. So here's the question I want to leave you with. What is ready to grow in your life right now? That the energy is ready to move forward again. All right. If you can identify like what that is for you, what that is for you personally, it might be several things. Um, but that's where you can hone in on. And whatever has happened or has not happened between January 1st and March 11th, whatever, like if things have felt stuck in, wherever Jupiter is in your chart, again, if it's in the fifth house or 10th house or sixth house, if you've been feeling stuck in that area of life, try not to predict what's going to happen based on what's happened so far for 2026. That's why I love these transits because they completely switch things up for us. So as an example, if Jupiter is transiting your fifth house and you felt like your entrepreneurship endeavors or your entrepreneurship goals or your clients or your marketing or something happening with your entrepreneurship business has been stuck, slow, delayed, or paused since January 1st, try not to predict like, oh my gosh, this year is just going to be another struggle with my business. It will if you're thinking like that. I can guarantee you that. Guarantee you. If you're going to have that belief, your beliefs will be true. But if you really allow astrology to guide you and you recognize like, okay, my entrepreneurship has been on hold, on pause. It's been slow. I've been internally integrating a lot of things. But now that Jupiter's going direct after March 11th, anything is possible. The big blessings I want, the manifestations I want, the whatever my next level is in my entrepreneurship, if I want to scale my business, if I want to do this or XYZ, that is all possible because now Jupiter is moving forward. It's going direct. Okay. And Jupiter gets stronger towards the end of a transit, especially with Jupiter. I guess every planet is a little different, but with Jupiter, I really find that he gets stronger. His muscle, his willpower gets stronger towards the last couple months of his transits. And so if you didn't experience the heightened expansion like my clients did that I just gave some examples about a little bit ago, a few minutes ago, also don't let that dictate how you're experiencing Jupiter going forward because maybe the first phase of Jupiter being direct was a softer activation for you. And then these last few months up until June 30th, it's going to be wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, all these blessings, big luck, big abundance, money dropping out of the sky. Like all this amazing stuff happening, right? Like all these trips. It just depends on where it's happening in your chart. If this is happening in the ninth house for you, you might be like, oh my God, I'm able to go travel the world for 3 months and expand my life that way. I never thought that was going to be possible, but that just unfolded for me, right? That's another random example depending on what house this is happening for you. So anyway, this is amazing. Like that, like Jupiter in Cancer is it's as good as it gets. And I don't even think the retrograde was that bad because Jupiter does so well in Cancer. But that's also just my limited opinion based on my clients and myself and my family, the people who are close to me, because I'm observing their lives and I'm tracking their charts if they allow me to. So anyway, this is good stuff. Please comment on this podcast episode, especially if you're watching on YouTube Tell me in the comments, where is Jupiter in your chart? What house? Please use Placidus so you can have Cancer in two houses. You could have first house Cancer and a second house Cancer in Placidus. But let me know in the comments. Just drop it down below. And then if you're watching this podcast episode on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please leave a review. These astrology episodes are it's a brand new series that I'm doing for the Power and Purpose podcast. I hope you guys enjoy it. I wanted to expand my work outside of my one-on-one client sessions. I wanted to start delivering content uh, so that anyone can listen for free. You don't have to buy a session. However, if you want to work with me, check out my link here. You can look at the packages or the single sessions and work with me directly. I love diving into astrology from a business and career lens, but we could also do anything life related in general. Namaste and have a great day.